Welcome to East St. Paul's regular meeting. I'll call the meeting to order, the time being 5:30. Can I have the resolution to adopt the agenda as presented?
Be resolved that the agenda be adopted as presented.
Can I have a mover, please? Counselor Imhoff, second by Counselor Duval. All those in favor? That's carried. Okay, item number 4, the adoption of the minutes from April 30th for resolution.
Be resolved that the council meeting minutes of the April 30th, 2020 planning meeting be approved.
Can I have a mover, please? Counselor Posthumous, seconded by Counselor Horechko. All those in favor? That's carried. We don't have any delegations this evening. Under bylaws, we have 6.1 for resolution.
Be resolved that bylaw number 2024-07 being a bylaw of the Arm of East St. Paul to authorize hours of work, remuneration and benefits of senior administration employees not covered under another bylaw, collective agreement or fixed term contract be given second reading.
Can I have a mover, please? Counselor Duval, seconded by Counselor Horechko. Any comments, questions in regards to the bylaw? Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. We don't have anything under policies.
I have third reading for.
Sorry, right, it's third reading too.
Be resolved that bylaw number 2024-07 being a bylaw of the Arm of East St. Paul to authorize hours of work, remuneration and benefits of senior administration employees not covered under another bylaw, a collective agreement or fixed term contract be given third reading. And be it further resolved that the mayor and CAO be authorized to sign the bylaw on behalf of the municipality.
Can I have a mover, please? Counselor Imhoff, second by Counselor Duval. Call for the question. All those in favor? It's carried. Okay, under finances, 8.1 for resolution.
Be resolved that the schedule of accounts dated May 14th, 2024, amounting to $1,250 be confirmed as paid.
I have a mover, please. Counselor Horechko, seconded by Counselor Posthumous. Any questions or comments? Call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. 8.2 for resolution.
Be resolved that the schedule of accounts paid since the April 16th, 2024 meeting of council amounting to $1,130,804.76 be confirmed as paid.
I have a mover, please. Counselor Imhoff, second by Counselor Duval. Any questions or comments? Call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. Then 8.3 for resolution.
Be resolved that the net payroll and council indemnities for the Arm of East for April 26th to May 14th, 2024 to $209,270.32 be approved.
I have a mover, please. Counselor Horechko, seconded by Counselor Posthumous. Any questions or comments? Call for the question. All those in favor? It's carried. Items number 9 under general business, we have 9.1.1.
Be resolved that council approves a grant in the amount of $1,500 for the Royal Canadian Legion 2024 Canada Day celebration.
I have a mover, please. Counselor Imhoff, second by Counselor Horechko. Any comments or questions? Okay, this is just a formality. We do this every year. It's great that, what are they using it for this year? Because last year was a photo booth, or what did we do last year?
Yeah, it could have been the bouncies or the photo booth, the band, painting, face painting, with some, they have all that kid stuff, right?
Mm.
And
Good time.
General expenses.
Oh, no, for sure. But I think it was last year they used it for a photo booth.
yeah,
So the year prior. Okay, call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. And then 9.1.2.
Do you want me to read the resolution first and then?
Well, it's quite long.
It's quite long and it has to do with being a co-sponsor for another municipality proposing
Yes.
a resolution
Okay,
at AMM.
so I can open the floor up for comments and then we can,
I'll read it and then
you want to read the resolution? Okay,
that way we can move it and second it and then have discussion. Whereas section 2 of the municipal bylaw enforcement regulation, being a regulation of the Municipal Bylaw Enforcement Act, states that the maximum administrative penalty that a municipality may impose for a designated bylaw contravention is $1,000. And whereas the municipal bylaw enforcement regulation has been in effect since August 8, 2016, with no inflationary increases to this maximum allowable penalty. And whereas the consumer price index rose by 7.8% in 2022 in Manitoba, following years of increases ranging from 0.5% to 3.3% as per the Manitoba Bureau of Statistics. And whereas bylaws established under the authority of the Provincial Offences Act are not restricted to this $1,000 maximum fine for identical offences. And whereas municipalities must bear the increasing cost of providing bylaw enforcement services at the expense of taxpayers at large when amounts cannot be fully recovered through fines. Therefore, be it resolved that the Association of Manitoba Municipalities be requested to lobby the province of Manitoba to review the Municipal Bylaw Enforcement Regulations, Section 2, as it pertains to the maximum imposable fine under the authority of the Municipal Bylaw Enforcement.
okay. I have a mover, please. Council Horechko, second by Councillor Costumis. I'll open the floor up for discussion.
Oh.
Councillor Duval.
We the only one being asked to co-sponsor this by St. Anne's?
No, the email was sent to several municipalities in the region.
Thank you. I'm fine, yeah, me too.
Okay.
This makes sense to me.
Call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried.
The next one.
And the next resolution.
Whereas the province of Manitoba owns drainage infrastructure in numerous locations throughout the province of Manitoba. And whereas the province of Manitoba is responsible for the maintenance and upkeep of these drainage infrastructures. And whereas the lack of continuous maintenance of these drainage systems leads to a backup or bottleneck of flowing waters. And whereas each municipality where provincial drainage infrastructure is located is dependent on these drainage infrastructure systems for the efficient and continuous operation of municipal drainage systems that flow into the provincial drainage infrastructures. Therefore, be it resolved that AMM be requested to lobby the government of Manitoba to ensure that the provincially owned drainage infrastructure systems be continuously maintained and updated in a manner that allows for the continuous and efficient flow of spring runoff and rainwaters to flow from municipal drainage systems into and through provincial drainage systems.
Okay, can I have a mover, please? Councillor Duval, seconded by Councillor Imhoff. I'll open the floor up for comments or questions.
I agree 100%.
Councillor Duval.
Yes, this is something that we can relate to certainly. On the east side of the floodway, as we all know, all water from overland runs west towards the river. So a lot of the water comes from Springfield area and it comes this way and it reaches the perimeter highway. And then it's to cross under the perimeter highway with culverts and it gets into another drainage ditch that is under the jurisdiction of the province alongside the floodway bank, just on the other side. And it has to travel about a mile north to where there's an outfall through the bank and into the floodway. And that mile-long stretch of drainage is not maintained by the province, and it's a bottleneck when the water is high. It's a real shame when you see all these fields flooded. This is when you get a lot of water, of course. All these areas and properties flooded, when you can throw a stone over the bank of the floodway and the water level there is probably 15 feet lower. So it's just not being maintained. It's a shallow ditch. It's not a nice trough shape. It's a rather shallow plateau as a drainage, and it's not maintained. It's just overgrown with vegetation and silt and whatnot. So yes, I am in favor of this, of course.
Councillor Posthumous.
Yes, I totally agree with Councilor Bedell. We saw the problem that happened with that last torrential rainfall, climate change, whatever you want to call it, that flooded by our Legion in that whole area. And they found out that the culvert under Henderson Highway, the provincial culverts and the ditch, some of them were plugged and not cleaned and it caused large flooding. So they should be maintained and as it says, proper flow. So they realize now that it couldn't take all that water. So apparently they may be, whenever they're going to fix that, but still to keep them clean, maintained is huge.
Okay, well, it's great that St. Anne's has put this resolution out there for AMM to consider. I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. And then you have one really long one to read, Suzanne.
This one relates to Crown land usage. Whereas the Arm of East St. Paul has been impacted by ongoing improper use of Crown lands at various locations, including the floodway area and the parking lot on Henderson Highway and the perimeter. Whereas the municipalities across Manitoba, various concerns are being raised regarding the uncontrolled use of Crown lands. And whereas the nature of the concerns included such examples as dangerous ATV use, illegal dumping, destruction of barricades, camping, bonfires, and littering. And whereas Crown lands are ultra-vires of municipalities. And whereas when faced with these situations on Crown lands, municipalities reach out to the Department of Environment, Climate and Parks for assistance from the authority having jurisdiction, and municipalities are in turn being asked to enforce the matter under their littering bylaws despite Crown lands being ultra-vires. Therefore, be it resolved that AMM be requested to lobby the province of Manitoba in coordination with the Association of Manitoba Watershed Districts to address the ongoing uncontrolled improper use of Crown lands at the expense of the province of Manitoba rather than the municipal taxpayers.
I have a mover, please. Councillor Imhoff, second by Councillor Horejko. I'll open the floor up for questions and comments.
Just seems like a no-brainer.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I was driving my daughter to school this morning and Ace Burpee was talking about littering in parks and how, everybody. He was upset about napkins and how everybody goes to have picnics. And for some reason, they think they're the only person on the planet that's not gonna have napkins blow away. And when they do blow away, they don't go and catch them and they don't pick them up. And so he was at a park in St. Matilda, I believe, and he said that he had a number of 317 napkins that were in a park in this one area. And so we've really, he also referenced the fact that in New Zealand, in different places in Europe, their parks and their crown lands don't have garbage cans because what you bring into the park, you have to take home. And that means you take your garbage home too. And he said how, and they don't have to enforce it because everybody just
Does it?
applies.
Mm.
And we just have a big problem in Manitoba with garbage.
Yeah.
Councilor Horejko.
So last night, my wife and I decided to go to Swiston Park with our dog. Sorry. We decided to go to Swiston Park with our dog about 5:30 p.m. So we walked the whole park. And there wasn't one napkin. The park was totally clean, like Councilor DeVal said a week ago. And there's garbage can. I mean, I was pretty happy, I was gonna take a picture, but there's not a cup, nothing. There's geese, but That's another point.
Yeah, I think that park is very fortunate too, because
Yeah.
Councillor Duval spends a lot of time picking up garbage
So I
down.
saw him. Yeah,
But you're right. I mean, of course, I think that, East St. Paul's doing their job. A little, we have some issues with
probably.
not picking up after our dogs, though. There's an issue within the municipality. But it's interesting to hear other parts of the world that don't have to have this as a bylaw enforced upon them, not even a garbage can in sight, yet they can maintain their parks and crown lands with respect. And I think that that's something that has to be held up in Manitoba.
I'm not sure what the best solution is. I'm certainly glad you took that walk, Councillor Richfield. And that's the human interest is when they see something clean, they don't want to mess it up. There's very few that do that, especially if you're a resident of the area. And there's a lot of non-residents that use Swiston Park. They seem to, I don't know, in a sense, kind of take it as their own when they're using it, because there's not much else around for them like that. We do have garbage cans at the top of the hill where the parking is. And yes, they are used. We have a fast food restaurant a block away, so there's those containers of things that people like to throw away, and they do use the garbage cans, but you have to keep them emptied out. And that's a task for our operations. If they are left to get overfilled, people are still going to try and stuff more in there and more in there, and then it starts falling out. Maybe they'll leave it at the base of the can and have some of things. So the garbage cans work, of course, but they have to be maintained. And there is not one there is one garbage can at the bottom of the hill right at the entrance in Swiston Park. But that is it. Actually, there's two, one for garbage, one for recycling.
Yeah.
And the entire other area there is not. And so that seems to work.
Councillor Posthumous.
Yeah. We don't have a lot of the crown land in here, but as you see, on Henderson, just before going under the underpass there, or going into town, there's that park where people do park and drive to. But you'll see trailers for sale, boats for sale, garbage. There was a couch there, like people just drive up there and dump stuff. And it's on crown land there. And, we probably don't have as problems as rural, where there's lots of crown land and who knows what's. And the problem is they use them as dump sites. And that's big. I've seen that. I'll be driving out rurally and they'll go, you go for a walk to go to a lake and there's just garbage pile, couches. Mattresses are a big one because they don't get recycled very easily. So it is a problem.
It is a problem, yeah. I mean, I think everybody in Lake Country experiences that, where you're driving out, going home for the weekend, you see somebody decide to leave their fridge, their freezer, their mattress, or their couch. It's just very disrespectful. Okay, so then I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you, St. Anne's. So that is all that I have on my agenda for this evening. We do have a lot of information and correspondence. We have our first community safety services report, which was fantastic. I like how it's laid out for us. Really gives us a good detail of what's going on in the municipality and the use for the CSO to be in our community.
Yeah.
We're very lucky to have adopted the program and it's working out really well for us. Does anybody want to make a comment in regards to the report that was provided? Councillor Posthumous?
Yeah, just it was great to see such a wide variety of things they did and covered. I was quite surprised by how much. The only thing I didn't notice, and not that we want a bunch of them, I did not notice speeding tickets. I guess we're not allowed to do those at all. Didn't have it on the list at all.
Yeah.
It was approved through the provincial government approved it. They forgot to put it in legislation and they're actively working to correct that.
Okay.
So in the near future, we hope to be able to hand out those speeding tickets. Right now, I think our CSOs are monitoring speeding in the community And they are giving warnings and making sure that people are slowing down and having respect for our.
I don't think I saw warnings either. I just didn't see it on the list. And, you know, that's one thing a lot of residents complain about is speeding on certain streets. But, thank you for the answer.
Speeding is the top item on the. Sorry, speeding is on the list. They just didn't show it. There's just no tickets issued, but it's there.
So there's nothing.
Are they authorized to give warnings at least for speeding?
They can give warnings for imprudent driving. That's where it's at. They're not authorized under the legislation right now to issue tickets for speeding, but it is coming.
Not even warnings for speeding.
They can issue only a warning for imprudent driving.
Because I could swear several times I've seen them pull cars over, particularly on 202 right through town. And they've got somebody pulled over for something.
Right, so currently it could be for distracted driving, someone talking on a cell phone, not wearing a seatbelt, not having proper license plates displayed.
Or running red lights or something.
Yeah, there's multiple reasons for them pulling vehicles over, but tickets cannot be issued right now for speeding.
Yeah, I think if you look at the list, you'll see the ones that were issued tickets that, you know,
$8,000 worth.
well, that's under bylaw. We had fines of $8,040. For sure. Yeah.
Yes.
But, sorry. The RCMP are still giving tickets because I did see them stop somebody on Pritchard the other day, so they're giving speeding tickets.
We had a guy yesterday in Highland
Yeah,
Park.
so they probably know that we can't, so they're probably still doing that.
Well, they're still doing their job.
Oh, yeah, the CSO does not replace or change the activity of the RCMP in East St. Paul.
Exactly.
For sure. No,
Yeah.
definitely still want to.
Yeah, no, I was glad to see them on
There's
Farm Road.
traffic stops too. Yes,
Yeah, I'd like to point out one of their statistics further down under the East St. Paul traffic bylaw. No truck route driver issued 30 tickets, not warnings, this is just tickets in 1 month.
Yeah.
And I would think that is all of them on that Wenzel strip. So 30 in 1 month is like 1 or 2 a day kind of. So, and they are having a huge impact. I know somebody who lives on Wenzel right in that area. And he notices the truck traffic is way down. And he's an ex-trucker himself, and he still kind of keeps in touch with some of his buddies. And he said, the word is getting around, don't take Wenzel, don't take Wenzel.
No, it took 7 good.
So hopefully, for good reason, these levels of tickets go down, because that's what we're after.
and I assume council took note of the reassessment dates for 2025, which will be held in our municipal office. We want to attend. Anything else out of correspondence? Okay. So last but not least, I will say that our counselor posthumous is now a grandfather to
Twins.
grandbabies, twins. So that's really fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Extremely cute and we can't wait to meet them. And I'm sure they'll be lighting a tree in the near future in their times.
And covered in sea bear swag.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm sure they have some swag already. I'm sure Chad's already getting stuff for them. Yeah, so congratulations to you and the family and your daughter.
Very much.
Can't wait to meet them. They're anything like Aaliyah, they're absolutely sweet. Okay, so that's it. I'll call for the resolution to adjourn. We don't have anything in camera today. Oh,
Be resolved that the meeting be adjourned, the time being 5:57 PM.
wow, that was really fast. Okay, call for a mover. Counselor Imhoff, I'm surprised it's you. And a seconder, Counselor Duval. Call,
But he was objecting.
that was what I was waiting for. I was waiting for you to potentially object. Hey, call for the question. All those in favor?
He's gonna oppose it.
Uh,
Let's stay.
opposing?